This is Akko.
And this is Tamo for the Akko and Tamo podcast, a podcast dedicated to parenting where we explore new perspectives
And share ideas on how to love yourself, love your partner, and shower your children with love.
This is episode 57.
And the topic of the day is addressing your child's physical aggression with love and compassion. And before we get started, please take a quick moment to subscribe to our show. Now, let's get back to our recent happenings. So recently, Tamo is working on getting more sleep.
Yep. Usually I tend to be a night owl, so getting to bed quite late. And if I don't really keep a track of it, it gets just later and later from 12 to 1:30 to 2. And it's not good because the next day I'm waking up at the same time. So I'm just getting a lot less sleep. Some of the signs that show me that I'm not getting enough sleep is one, during meditation, I tend to doze off, which usually doesn't happen when I'm rested. And the second one is I have less capacity for handling parental stress and work stress. So those three things really show me, hey, I need to get back on track when it comes to sleep. Little by little, I've been getting to bed earlier and earlier, and it's been making a difference. I'm already seeing a improvement in my daily meditations, and I'm also seeing that my capacity for stress has increased. And so I've been working on sleep. And then for those who haven't heard of Andrew Huberman, he has a podcast and he shares a lot about sleep. And he also mentions a stack of supplements that you can take to improve sleep. So for me, I don't really have any issues getting to sleep or staying asleep. It's more that we get woken up at night. And this is not medical advice. Dr. Huberman recommends a type of magnesium called magnesium threonate, and then apigenin, and then L-theanine, stacking those up for better and a longer quality of sleep. So I'm looking into testing that and seeing how that goes.
Yeah, so we'll let you know.
Yep. So let's go into the topic of the day. Today, we're going to be talking about addressing your child's physical aggression with love and compassion. So Akko, can you share with us why we're going to be covering this topic today?
Yeah, we decided to choose this topic just because we are in the brunt of this right now. And our son has started to push and hit and throw things at times, and it's starting to become an issue. It is an issue that we tried to nip it at the bud and everything, and we tried different tactics where we tried to give him options to de-escalate somehow and empathize as to how he's feeling perhaps, and nothing has been working. But we just wanted to just jump in here to talk about what we're going through and why some children might be hitting or pushing, and to giving compassion towards those parents and child, because we might not really know what's going on. These kids are so young and they're not able to express themselves effectively. And that's why we as parents are Sherlock Holmes, right? We're trying to pretty much figure out what's going on inside and unlock what's happening so that we can give them the tools to de-escalate however they're feeling.
Yeah. And it's been pretty tough for us as parents because we've been working so hard and we're continually learning about new, more conscious methods to parent. And then here we are experiencing our child hitting or pushing other kids. And at times we work so hard and it feels like a defeat, right?
Yeah.
And for a couple of days, we've been pretty bummed, but we're going to be sharing what's been working for us, what we have done, what kind of actions we've been taking, and it actually has been working. And later on, we'll have Akko share what she's been doing most recently. And it looks like we have a glimmer of hope with the method that Akko is using, so she'll be sharing that later in the podcast.
Yeah, so let's just start off with why these things happen with kids. Some kids just start pushing and hitting, and some kids don't. But for those kids that do, it happens usually because a child is trying to communicate something to the parents or something to an individual, but doesn't know how to. And they don't really know how to express themselves, and it comes out physically. And please know that children aren't malicious to start with. They're not vindictive, or they're not trying to hurt people. So you have to think, okay, so why are they acting this way? There's always a reason why behind it. So we're the detective and we're trying to figure out why this is happening, what they're trying to say, what kind of message are they trying to send. And so that's usually what happens. At times it could be that some children might be just overly energetic, and the way it comes out is physically because they can't release that energy in any other way. And so there are many tips that's suggested. And the most important one is to actually look inside of yourself to regulate your emotions first, is what we would suggest, right? Because as parents, your child really can hone in on how you're feeling. So the first thing you want to do is just regulate yourself so that you're more calm, so that they don't catch on to however you're feeling, because, the mom guilt or the dad guilt or the shame and how the other parents are viewing yourself, like that could all play a role. So you just want to just put that aside and not even take that into consideration and just calm yourself down, take deep breaths, and then figure out what's going on with your child, and then figure out what's going with the child so that you're able to pick up on those subtle energy or cues that they're feeling. So perhaps some of the things that you can do is maybe they don't have that much rough play. It's interesting, but being a little more rough with them can let that energy out. Or maybe putting them in some type of sports or something that can let out that energy. Or perhaps giving them a choice as to what to do and let them know that it's not okay to hit. It's not safe to hit. Maybe that's a really good word to use. That's what we've been using. Hitting is not safe, and I cannot let you hit others. But you can say hi to them if you want to play. Or you can say, let's play. You have to use your words. So those are the stuff that we've been teaching. And once again, staying calm when it happens and paying more attention to your children and give them a lot of loving attention and really seeing their strengths and always letting them know how well they did. Or if it's a positive, I've noticed that you restrained yourself and you were able to say hi to your friend, and not really bring up, you didn't hit, but more so, you were able to restrain yourself, put your hands to yourself and say hi to your friends. And so really giving those positive strengths, positive remarks to your children are very helpful, because at least they know that they're doing good. Children are always out to please their parents. It's innately built in them.
Yeah, and one thing that I've been noticing is when I say, look in my eyes when I'm talking to you, that was equaling daddy is mad, daddy is angry. And so now what happened is when I say, look into my eyes, daddy is not angry, it's okay. I notice that I get a lot more feedback from my children, and they actually do look in my eyes. Whereas before, when I said, hey, look in my eyes when I'm talking to you, they would usually not look in my eyes and either run away or just not listen. But by saying, hey, daddy's not angry at you, look in my eyes, and then I give them a hug and just be as warm as possible to them, and then go into what I want to talk to them about. So that's something that I've been noticing in terms of giving them more attention, but not just attention, but understanding like the energy behind it, so that I don't have that angry energy behind it or frustrated energy behind it. Instead, just a more neutral energy, and if not more warmer, caring, loving, happier energy.
Yes, like we were saying, children really hone in on your energy. So you want to make sure that it's all coming from a very neutral or happy place. And I do also want to mention that this is always a season in your life. So if going through these things are really challenging for a parent, and we do want to let parents know that this is always a phase. Remember, it's always a phase. Whatever is hard or bad today might be the last day of that phase, and tomorrow they'll just grow out of it. So it's just a good reminder for ourselves to tell ourselves like, hey, this is a phase. It's going to end soon. It's not going to be forever. And it might get harder before it gets better, but it will also make you stronger as a parent and more confident, because you know what to do in these certain situations. And your children will also be confident as well, because they had you to guide them in dealing with all these feelings that they were feeling. You're giving them tools, and at the same time, you're working on how to decode how they're feeling and everything. So it's a really good opportunity, and it can be challenging, but in the end, it's great for the both of you guys. And then one more thing is what helped me especially was having a good support system. Like Tamo was saying, we were feeling defeated. Like we try so hard, read all these conscious parenting books or respectable parenting books, and read all these articles and try these new things on our children. And here we are having to deal with a child that hits or push or throw things at times. And it's been, I guess, for lack of a better word, crushing to our morale. But I have such a good support system. I felt so empowered by just the support that I was getting, like the texts or calls that I was getting. And it's just been great. I had friends calling me or texting me saying, hey, you're not alone. Like I had problems like this, or other friends that were in more of the educational field. And so they were giving me the point of view of the teachers or whatnot. And so it was great. And it was just always empowering to have these people around you and support you. So I would say if you don't have anyone, try to find people that can support you when you're going through these type of things.
And it's always nice to have someone that has children in similar age groups that understand. For example, maybe your parents, the grandparents, may have great things to say, but at that time, people tend to forget how tough it was, especially when you want input from someone that's maybe even going through it together. So just as a shoulder to cry on. But when it comes to the support system, it can come from many different areas in life. So just reach out to people.
Yeah. And if you don't have anyone, go on Facebook and try to join these mommy and me groups and try to meet up with them, if anything.
And with that said, even for us, we have Instagram. Come and join us and start your discussion there, and hopefully people can chime in. We'll certainly chime in.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, just come on over, even website, email, whatever it is, get into touch with us and share your concerns.
Yeah, and we can be your support team. We're here for you guys. We know how hard parenting is. You're not alone. And yeah, we'll be more than happy to talk to you guys and be there for you. And let us know if you want us to cover any other topics or anything that comes to your mind. And lastly, believe in the growth of your child. Just really believe in it. So like Tamo was saying, I'm trying something new right now. And we just decided that we're going to try to tighten our boundaries a little more. And hopefully that works a little better. We're giving them a lot of freedom and independence. And for our son, I believe at this time and this season in his life, he needs tighter boundaries. And so that's why we are tightening our boundaries. So there is pretty much zero tolerance. So if I see him hit or push or possibly throw things, then I will remove him from that situation. So let's say we are at the playground or whatnot, I would just have him sit with me and explain to him that hitting is not safe and that we have to use our words and we have to sit here for a little bit. And the only reason why we're sitting and not going home is because we have our older daughter, and that's unfair to her. I don't want her to build this resentment towards her younger brother because she had to go home and she's not able to play in the playground because he was misbehaving.
Yeah, what Akko will do is Akko will physically carry our son and sit in a different area, right?
Yes, correct. And it's interesting because the transition is actually not that bad. It's not like he's kicking and crying and because he didn't want to do that. He's just okay, and then he just sits and he's just sitting quietly. That also tells me, like, was he overly stimulated and did he need a break? I don't know. We don't know. But I'm going to just keep trying and just stay consistent. And I really believe that things will be better. And I hope that I can come back here and tell you guys that everything is great. And so to sum everything up, it's never fun to go through these challenges with your kids. And so I invite you to take a deep breath and notice all the wonderful traits of your children.
And so if you think this episode is helpful for other parents, please share it. And if you haven't, please take a quick moment to subscribe to our show.
And the question of the day is, what have you done that works to minimizing hitting and pushing?
We'd love to hear from you. Please come say hi by commenting on our website, by going to akkoandtamo.com and clicking on the podcast tab. We're also on Instagram at Akko and Tamo, so please come say hi to us there. We're also on Instagram at Akko and Tamo, so please come say hi to us there.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye.